If you've ever watched a college football game, then you know at the end they hand out a scholarship to the MVP, whoever was the best man on that day. Well, as Marley Weirder reports, last Friday, South Christian quarterback Carson Vis took the term best man next level.
Carson Vis has waited for his moment to be South Christian's starting quarterback. As a star receiver for the Sailors last year, he was set to make his first start under center last week. But the first Friday night of the high school football season was the same day as his brother's wedding.
I mean, I relayed to him, like, ultimately it's your decision. Like, if family and being to the wedding needed to happen, then do that. Like, that's more important than a game of football.
Letting down his teammates for the season opener wasn't an option, but neither was letting down his brother Peyton. And Carson wouldn't be attending the wedding as a guest. He was the best man.
And everything I did want to be like Peyton. Watching Peyton play sports in high school was one of my favorite things to do.
So if there's anyone that understands what it means to win the starting role, it's Peyton.
I mean, he was happy for me, right away. He sent a text about probably on that Monday before the game. It was like, you can go to the game, whatever you want, it's fine with me. But I wanted to be there, and so figured out a way I could give my speech and make the game.
What's more nerve-wracking, giving a speech at a wedding or playing in a football game?
On that day, probably giving the speech, I didn't really have time to think about being nervous for the game because I was kind of just in so much of a hurry to get there.
Moments after delivering his speech to his newlywed brother and bride Sydney, Carson rushed to the stadium, arriving just 10 minutes before kickoff.
Just kind of ran up through the gates and right into the locker room.
But football is all about routine, and Carson was far from his typical game day warm-up.
There wasn't much time. I think he probably threw 3 or 4 warm-up passes, and then, of course, we went on offense first. We couldn't have gone on defense. So I was more worried about how he would handle that situation. And I think kind of when he made that comment to me, like, hey, Coach, we're good. We're going to score here. Like, that kind of eased. All right, yeah, it's Carson. There's something special about him. He's good.
Turns out he didn't need much of a warm-up after all. Carson threw a touchdown pass on the opening drive of the game.
Carson Vis pass complete to Jake Vermas for.
Tried to be myself. My teammates were there too, just trying to calm me down, letting me know that they got me. So I was ready.
Vis went on to throw 6 touchdown passes in a 66-42 win over Grand Rapids Christian. That, of course, wasn't the only victory he celebrated that day.
See my brother and my family and how happy they were. It was really cool.
Reporting in Byron Center, Marley Weirder, News 8.